And on behalf of TCG and myself and all the carriers here, I thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts for coming out today. I was once told that time is the most precious commodity, right, that we have as business owners, as human beings, as mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. So thank you for investing that time with us today. Right, we hope to achieve two goals, right? Like maybe you learn something new, right, from one of these amazing carriers, right, and or you foster and maintain a relationship, right, like with a carrier channel manager that you might not have met so far until today. So with that being said, I'm gonna give a quick agenda right for the day. Due to the fact that we have a lot of brand new faces here in the audience, I'm going to do a quick overview of TCG, right, kind of who we are. Some of you longtime partners out there, right, thank you for your business, thank you for your loyalty. You might actually learn a thing or two, but then we're going to dive right into the carrier side, all right? And the first things first is we're going to hear a presentation all about IoT, and that's going to be from AT&T. If you're unfamiliar with what IoT is, that's Internet of Things. It's something that you will certainly be talking to your customers about here in 2020 and beyond, right? It's definitely one of the biggest buzzwords here in the industry. Then we're going to hear from Lee Burke over at Comcast. They're going to be talking about their new Active Core product and their SD-WAN rollout, which is absolutely amazing. Then we're going to hear from Viasat. If you guys are unfamiliar with Viasat, they're pretty much delivering internet anywhere, and they've now expanded operations to certain parts of the globe right outside North America, which is very exciting for us. And then last but not least, we're going to hear from 8x8, which is one of the big three hosted providers and the only Diamond UCaaS provider here at TCG. So we're definitely excited to have them here in the house. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick overview of kind of who we are. Right, for you guys in the room that have been longtime partners, this might be old news, but there's a lot of people that haven't heard it. So without any further ado, right, TCG, right, we've been in business for 29 years. In fact, I'm pretty proud to say that we're celebrating our 30th year anniversary here in 2020, which is quite the accomplishment. We have just over 4,000 partners right across the U.S. that are served by our 19 national channel managers. So with the size and scope that we've grown to over the past couple of years, obviously the responsibility is even bigger. So I'm proud to say we paid just over $30 million in commissions, right, to TCG partners in 2019. So there are a lot of people in this room that were huge benefactors of that. So thank you very much. If you guys aren't familiar with the term TCG means family, as you can tell, we take on that family style approach with all of our partners, something that we really hold right near and dear to our hearts. So again, thank you for being a part of that extended TCG family. Super important, right, for any new partners that are in the room. Every carrier in our portfolio has a true baked-in evergreen agreement, right? So that means that if you sell a 36-month contract, on month 37, on month 38, and on month 39, as long as that customer is in good standing, right, billing-wise with the carrier, and TCG is being paid, you're going to continue getting compensated regardless of contract length. So that's hugely important. We are also a 100% channelized company. We do not have any direct sales force whatsoever. We don't have any feet on the street. We don't operate any call centers. There's not an MSP arm of TCG masquerading as us. We are tried and true, right, connected to our partners right at the hip. You will never, ever, ever compete, for your business, for your customers against somebody at TCG, and that's something that we're very proud of because not all master agents can say that. We've never canceled an agent or a commission in 29 years. I know you've heard Dan, Lou, and myself, kind of preach it that, we still pay a few families of the agents that have passed away during that 29-year history. So that's something that definitely makes us, quite different. If you're unfamiliar with the agreement, it's all but 3.5 paragraphs. There's no quotas. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that. We pass through 100% of all carrier advertised spiff and bonus. Hey, Dave, what's the current 8x8 spiff? 700%, 7x MRC. I picked them out because I know that they got the highest spiff in the room. But the reality of it is that you sell a $1,000 deal with 8x8, you can expect, as long as it qualifies for 7x, you can expect a check for $7,000. We pass through 100% of that spiff, no matter what. We don't take a cent. We now have 51 people that are dedicated to carrier sales and growing. That's our back office support. That's really the lifeblood of our organization and what makes us special. So we're glad to see that number continue to grow because those folks, right, that are grinding it out in the back office in Pompano and all across the United States, they're really kind of, the cogs that make this thing work, right? And they're an extension of you. So the more that you leverage all of the investment that we've made in our back office, I'm going to talk about it in a minute in relation to AT&T and Comcast, you're sorely missing out. So I definitely advise you to leverage our back office as much as possible. All of this, guys, for all the new partners in the room, there's no quotas, no minimums, no thresholds. We don't hold your feet to the fire. There's no jagged language in the contract whatsoever. So with that being a quick overview, if any new partners in the room do have any questions for me or anybody from TCG, please feel free to approach me afterwards. I would love to discuss our partner program a little more at length. This is a quick visual overview of that operations team that I was just mentioning. For the longtime partners in the room, you might not know just how big this back office has grown over the past couple of years. So I'm going to highlight a couple key kind of teams and carriers here. First being AT&T. We have the largest AT&T back office on the East Coast, and proud to say that we are the #1 performing AT&T master solutions provider on the East Coast in 2019. Something that we hold very, very proud, right? A lot of it, and I would say 90% of that success comes with our investment into this back office. There's a front of house and a back of house, just like this beautiful Ruth's Chris, right? Where there's a full team that's assigned for quoting and a full team assigned for contracting. If you have not leveraged our back office for AT&T, I definitely would encourage you to do so. You send one email to AT&T quotes at TCG-partners, and immediately you got 6 sets of eyes on that quote. We've got about a 2 to 3 hour turnaround time on quotes, and as long as we can generate the contract pretty fast, we're able to provide contracts the next day, which is pretty difficult in the world of AT&T. Sorry, guys. Comcast. All right, Comcast, we've been a top performing Comcast partner for years, right? But the reality of it is that we've continued to build and add just like total robustness, right, to this team. So the team is stronger than ever before. It doesn't matter if it's coax, if it's complex, if it's SIP, if it's hospitality, there's somebody on our team that is assigned to that. All right, I definitely encourage you, if you want a Comcast quote done timely, don't just email your channel manager, don't just email your contact at TCG, go ahead and CC Comcast proposals at TCG-partners, because you'll get an answer within 2 hours, right? That's the type of thing that we've built, that's the type of reputation we've built for both these carriers, and the reason for our success is because of the investment in the back office. So if you're not leveraging that team, you're definitely missing out. Another team that we've invested in is the Viasat team. If you're currently selling Viasat, or if you want a Viasat quote, all you got to do is send it to Viasat at TCG-partners. I think you guys are kind of getting the theme here. Right, the reality of it is that's how we're able to turn around these quotes. We were the #2 performer for Viasat in 2018, and a lot of it comes down to having people in the back office that know what they're doing, that can get the information to your customer as soon as possible. Quick visual representation of the growth that we've had from the sales side. There's a lot of people here in the room that work with the multitude of our channel managers. This is a quick kind of visual representation. For a lot of the older partners in the room, there used to only be 5 of us on this slide. So it goes to show kind of, just how much we've grown over the past few years. All right, I'm gonna slide right into AT&T, and I'm gonna keep this as quick as possible, because I really want you guys to hear what they have going on the IoT side, which is gonna be their specialized presentation today. But I already covered a lot of this. We have a dedicated team, all right, and that's lightning fast response times. For anything SMB, right, and that's your UVerse and your ABF, but those orders are placed same day, and we're able to generate an LOA for you same day. As long as you get the pertinent information over to us, we are submitting those orders same day, which is absolutely awesome. Anything complex, it's incredibly easy for you to leverage either a subject matter expert, just like Robert, that we have today, or your channel manager, such as Keith, right? If you need to get a TSE or engineer involved, we have immediate access to all of those resources. So, again, it starts with leveraging our team, and then our back office team knows exactly how to pull down the certain resources that you might need for that opportunity. So we're excited to hear from Robert here in a little bit. Through AT&T, through TCG, we give you exclusive access to the AT&T Channel Integration Program, which means that you can partner with the local reps. If you guys are interested in partnering with local sales reps, whether it be in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or Palm Beach, or anywhere across the country, please feel free to get with either myself or Wendy after the presentation, because we have seen tremendous amount of success with our partners that have leveraged that opportunity and partnered with the local sales team and gone in hand. We're seeing a ton of sales coming out of this. So if you guys are interested in it, please do not hesitate to ask me, because compared to the likes of the cable companies, the direct team doesn't have to be the enemy all the time. You guys can kind of form that bridge across the river, if you will. There's a massive portfolio. You're going to hear about a small sliver of it right from the IoT side, but most people don't know that AT&T is also the #1 cybersecurity vendor in the globe, right? So they have a huge product of cybersecurity, and then obviously all of the voice and data products that you guys know right very well. If you're unfamiliar with the spiffs at AT&T, they're currently paying a 1x on any complex deals, so all of your fiber sales, and a 1.5x on anything non-complex. So that's your UVerse, that's your POTS, and that's your ABF. And again, TCG passes through 100% of that bonus right directly to you, the partner. All right, so for another one of our diamond carriers, I just wanted to cover this real quick. We have 7 people that are dedicated to nothing but Comcast. They don't also work on the AT&T team. They don't also work on the Spectrum team. Going back to the slide that I showed you before with the visual representation of our team, right, these guys all have a black belt in one carrier, and that's the way that we prefer to TCG, right? It allows them to stay kind of laser focused and sharp on task. So the secret to our success on the coax side is that systematic approach. I know everybody here in the room pretty much has placed a Comcast SMB order with us at one point or another, and right, we've taken that same approach right to the AT&T team, and that's a lot of the reason, that kind of secret sauce is a lot of the reason why we're seeing that success right for both of the 2 largest carriers here in the country. Right, we provide access to proprietary tools. If anybody's interested, right, we can get you signed up in the Comcast systems, as well as the TCG proposal generator. Comes out every single month. It's got all the new promos and discounts already embedded into it, so you guys don't have to try and learn Greek when you start talking about Comcast promos. But our team can qualify the addresses immediately for you. If you want access to the qualification tools, feel free to ask us. We're happy to provide that, as well as all lit building lists for either Comcast or AT&T. We can give you access to all that information, which is obviously a wealth. Talking about cable fiber, just real quick, I'm going to run through this. A little bit different than selling with the LEC, because we have to launch a site survey before we ever give pricing. Obviously, we can provide budgetary pricing, but Comcast is going to launch a site survey for every single opportunity. That way there's no surprises to your customer, okay? The other thing that's a little bit different with them is that they extend their SLA all the way to your customer's suite and or rack, not just to the DMARC, which is huge, right? And right, because of that, that install is also performed all the way to the suite and or rack. There's no need for additional wiring inside the building. Again, like I mentioned, we can give you we can give you unrestricted access to all the fiber lit buildings right for AT&T and Comcast very easily. For the new partners in the room, this is the beauty of Residual Commission. In 2019, our average order was $338.58, and the red represents right, like your take home if you kind of went through a direct program, right, like regardless of the carrier. That represents just earning a 1x, whereas the green represents right, like what your residual would be right over the course of that contract. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that you guys are all in the right room right now. It is mid-January, guys, right, which means that we are in the throes of our President's Club contest, and a TCG event this size, I would be remiss without mentioning it. Right up here on the screen are some pictures from some previous events. Right, we went to Costa Rica, and we went to Maui, and famously, last year we actually rented an entire castle just outside of Dublin, and actually raised our own flag with a bunch of TCG royalty. It was absolutely amazing. Few people in the room that were there. This year we're going to Mallorca. Right, we're going back to Europe. There's still time to win the contest. There's 45 different ways to get on this trip. All right. Every carrier that you heard from today has a qualifier. If you're interested in learning more about the trip, the qualification period ends on May 1st. So all deals have to be inked by May 1st. All right. And feel free to contact your TCG channel manager or your TCG support person and ask about this. Happily send the flyer out to you guys. It is a trip that will certainly be memorable for a long time. So.